So you got your first job to max in Final Fantasy XIV, and you're a no-life loser like me and have it in your head that you absolutely have to have all the combat jobs at max in order to live. Well, this video is for you. Hello Eorzeans, my name is Kai, and today I'm going to give you the most efficient way to level your alt jobs and prove to everyone how little life you actually have. At the end, I'll get into all the XP buffs you can get in-game to make this even faster. So make sure you stay tuned for that. In order to level up alt jobs from 1 to 15, you should absolutely be doing low-level fates in the starting zones outside your job's starting city. So whatever city you start out in, just go outside and find this icon on your map to start a fate, which is essentially just an event in the open world. This absolutely blows without flying more times than not because the fates are completed so fast, especially at the low levels. So just do yourself a favor and finish the MSQ first. Okay. At level 16 to 30, leveling alt jobs is still a pretty dang snappy process, but consists of a whole lot of the Palace of the Dead. Palace of the Dead is a randomly generated dungeon with 200 floors. It's not as boring as you think. I always have a ton of fun in Palace of the Dead. If you have friends in game, I recommend inviting them along, and it's an absolute blast. You can unlock it by heading to New Gridania and speaking to this guy and completing his quest, The House That Death Built. Queue for each floor until you reach levels 51 to 60, and then chain run 51 to 60 to level your alt jobs the fastest. Just a note that you need to reset your progress before you requeue to chain run these specific floors. At level 31 to 60, leveling alt jobs starts getting a little bit slower, but it's still totally manageable. So now we head into roulettes. You're gonna wanna wait to use your roulettes on odd levels that end in 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, and save them for the end of your grind session if you can. The higher the level, the more XP gains you'll get from it. So work smarter, not harder. DPS are gonna wanna stick to roulettes and Palace of the Dead because dungeon queues tend to take an eternity and a half. Tanks and healers can chain run dungeons if the queue is good and use Palace of the Dead as a slightly less XP alternative to break up the absolute snooze fest that is chain running dungeons. At level 61 to 70, leveling alt jobs starts feeling like you're actually being transformed into a snail. We can get through it together, I promise. Head over to the Ruby Sea and talk to Hamasaki. Complete his quest knocking on Heaven's Door and unlock Heaven on High. This is essentially a higher level version of the Palace of the Dead. DPS will continue to do roulettes on odd levels and climb Heaven on High to floors 21 to 30. Repeat those floors just like you did in Palace of the Dead. Tanks and healers are still dungeon grinding and using Heaven on High as an alternative to prevent burnout. At level 71 to 80, leveling alt jobs feels like the most painful thing I've experienced since my brain decided to develop crippling anxiety. But it's fine. I believe in you. I know you have the strength and will to endure this suffering and emerge victorious. Hold your roulettes for as long as absolutely possible. DPS should do fates while waiting for roulette queues to pop. Do your Beast Tribe quests at the appropriate level. The Pixies are a great way to get a decent boost when you're struggling to find the motivation to live anymore. So there are a ton of ways to increase your XP, and since you've made it this far, I'm assuming you really want to get it done with the least amount of pain possible. Since I've told you that there might be quite a bit of excruciating pain, let's get you some band-aids to help with the uncontrollable bleeding. Here's a list of all the items you can obtain to give you even more of that sweet, sweet XP. Pick up your food buffs. I know you're lazy and think that it doesn't make much of a difference anyway. Wrong. That 3% extra XP works out to about 10 million XP. The equivalent of the first 51 levels for free, so head to Alehouse Wench in Gridania, or Greg in the Gold Saucer, and pick up some antelope steak if you're a broke mofo for the least expensive option. You're welcome. If you're in an FC, the Heat of Battle 3 buff will give you a 15% XP buff. so you should definitely just ditch your friends and join an FC that has a level 3 buff. We're all about efficiency here. I know that you already know you should log out in a sanctuary, but actually though, log out in a sanctuary. You can get up to a level and a half with 50% additional XP. It's worth it. Trust me. I have intelligence, I'm a black mage. Your first job being at max actually does make a difference too. Don't screw yourself by leveling alt jobs before you get your first job to max. I know we all have collective ADHD at this point, but you get an armory bonus buff which gives you a double XP buff until level 69 and then 50% additional XP until level 70. There are also quite a few equipable items that can help you along on your journey. First, there's the Moogle Cap, a 20% increase XP when level 10 and below, which is no longer obtainable, but was obtainable by pre-ordering A Realm Reborn. A Helm of Light is a 20% increase XP when level 10 and below, obtainable through the A Realm Reborn Collector's Edition. The Friendship Circlet is a 20% increase XP buff when level 25 and below, obtainable via the Recruit a Friend campaign. Brand New Ring is a 30% XP buff when level 30 and below, obtainable by completing all Adventure Guild trials for a single role at the Hall of the Novice. Almegan Earrings give you a 30% XP buff when level 50 and below. This is obtained by pre-ordering Stormblood and is no longer obtainable. And the Aetheryte Earrings give you a 30% XP buff when level 70 and below, obtainable by pre-ordering Shadowbringers, which is also no longer obtainable. So I hope this video makes your alt leveling journey a little faster and a little easier. If you gained something from this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Logging off.